It's going to be huge. Epic mass carnage and slaughter. James and Carlos are getting ready to play Apocalypse. 12,000 point game. They've deployed their armies on the table. We've got the Tau, a bunch of Tau with hammerheads, transports, broadsides, all those models, all those railguns, and allies. They've brought the Titans with them. And don't forget the Narlosis with broadsides on his back. Yes, we're running the super heavies today. Those are Shadow Sword tanks, warhounds, a huge, massive army of death going up against the Dark Angels. They also have allies. They brought the Empire with them as well. They've got a Reaver on the table. They've got armor. They've got Shadow Swords. They've got warhounds. They have a crap ton of Terminators. All these Terminators sitting in reserve. More warhounds in reserve waiting to come in. 12,000 points. Titan game. Running the super heavies for the first time. We've been wanting to do a game with the super heavies like this for 25 years. Finally, it's going to happen. It's going to be ugly. It's going to be great. Here comes turn one. Okay, the guys have finished deploying. James rolled to go first, unless Carlos can put his beer down and seize the initiative. On a 6. Let's see it. Big roll. Oh, so close. Oh no, James is going to go first and get to fire all those destroyer weapons at the Tau. Well, take a look at them now, because I'm sure a lot of them will be gone by next turn. All right, let's see what happens. Here we go, turn one. Okay, that was the end of turn one, and we're laughing because there was just so much damage. I mean, whoever goes first in Apoc just has a huge advantage right off the bat because you get to shoot first, and you get to shoot destroyer weapons, and they automatically destroy everything. And yeah, those hammerheads are dead, and those hammerheads are dead, and all those hammerheads got wiped off the table. So, ow, the Tau just took it hard. I mean, really bad. The walkers are moving up. Tanks are moving up. So Dark Angels are moving up. But boy, that first round volley just hurt the Tau big time. So we'll see what happens next turns. Everyone's got reserves coming in. Thank goodness. We'll see how it goes. Here comes turn two. Okay, bottom of turn two. And it's getting a little more interesting because the reserves are starting to come in. And the Tau sure needed the help. James went first again, top of round 2, and the destroyer weapons, wow, one more time. They just went through the Tau lines with those destroyer weapons, just wrecking everything. And then James's Dark Angels came in on a flank march, brought these Terminators in, did even more damage in hand-to-hand and whatnot, took some tanks down. Dark Angels tanks are moving up. And then the Tau, finally, the Tau got some of their reserves to come in, and they sure needed that. The Narlosis came in here, fired everything. The guys on the top there, those broadsides, took out the Warhound. Boom, dropped him. Went into hand-to-hand over there. We have a Warhound on Warhound. Combat over there. Those two guys are doing the dance of death, locked up in hand-to-hand combat. These two are also locked up in hand-to-hand. We've never seen that before. Super heavy Titans going hand-to-hand with each other. That Warhound and that Reaver are locked up. So that helps a lot. That ties up some of the Dark Angels Titans. So they're not going to punish the Tau nearly so bad next turn. And we've also got a lot more reserves coming in. James has got another Warhound and some Dark Angels ready to come in over there. And the Tau still have all this to come in. And they'll have all their super heavies on the table. So turn 3, this next turn, should be really, really interesting. Here we go. Bottom of turn 3. And it's getting interesting. The rest of the reserves came in, so all the Tau's reinforcements, the tanks and super heavies came in, which he really needed. And the rest of the Dark Angels came in, Terminators and whatnot. Not a whole lot going on this side of the table. There's plenty of Terminators, and they're banging on those Fire Warriors over there. The broadsides came in. That little speeder ran up and took out James's Annihilator. Land Raiders came up the middle. One of them got nuked by a D weapon. A bunch more broadsides came in here and using their rail guns, took out some Shermanators over there and the Vindicator. The Titans, wow, the super heavies. These guys are locked up in hand to hand. That Warhound with the Narlosis. Warhound did some damage, but the Gnarly's still kicking. Terminators may have done a little, but they're just like little dinky little guys next to that big dude hitting on his foot there. The Tau reinforcements came in all on this side of the table. Wow, Shadow Sword came in. Warhounds came in and locked up this guy. They're duking it out. Another Warhound came in and locked him up. So the strategy being, you know, you lock up the Titans and they can't shoot those nasty D weapons like that Reaver. He's locked up and those guys are just pounding on each other. 3 more Tau reinforcement Shadow Sword tanks came in over here, did a bunch of damage, popped that Land Raider, stunned the Shadow Sword, knocked the barrel off of that one, and basically effectively neutered the Dark Angel's D weapons, the destroyer weapons, are either stunned or taken out or locked up. So yeah, next turn James has got to start doing something without the D weapons, and then when it goes to Carlos, he can enjoy shooting those destroyer weapons, which automatically kill anything they hit. So yeah, we'll see how it goes. Here comes turn 4. Bottom of turn 4. Wow, what a turn. OMG. So the Terminators, are still a few over here, but the Tau wiped out a bunch too. I mean, the Terminators took out some Fire Warriors over here. They're running for the objective. And the Broadsides cleaned up some Terminators here, but the Terminators took out some Fire Warriors. And, oh, you won't believe this. So all these Broadsides that came in from reserves, they're still here. This battle between the Narlosis and the Titan, they took each other out this turn. Both of them died. Boom. Gone. This little Rhino got wrecked by the Broadsides. Those dudes are hanging out. This tank that came in fired just some damage. These 2 Titans are still locked up. This poor tank is still missing his cannon. These guys are locked up. The Reaver destroyed the Warhound that was in front of him. That thing went full nuclear explosion. Boom. Mushroom cloud. Damaged the tanks. Took out that squad of Devastators. Took out some Terminators. Damaged the tanks over here. Huge, massive Apoc explosion. In the meantime, this Warhound came up and engaged him again, because the idea is to lock him up in hand-to-hand so he can't shoot all those nasty D weapons. Over here, the tanks fired at the Terminators. They're down to 1 Terminator holding that objective. 1 Terminator holding that objective. This little skimmer, this little dude right here, is still alive. He ran up, did some damage. The Broadsides are over there. It's going to be a long run for those Broadsides to get all the way over to this objective. That yellow one there, but who knows, maybe they will. But wow, what a turn. Bottom of turn 5. And the table is starting to thin out. There's really not that many models left. So on this end of the table, these Terminators are going to have to make some big runs and try and get up to that objective. And those Broadsides over there, they're going to have to try and run up and do the same thing. The tanks over there are all messed up. Damaged, immobilized. Got some Terminators hanging out in the ruins there. The Terminators that were holding these 2 objectives got blown away by the Broadsides and the D weapons. The D weapons took out the Dark Angel's tactical squad that was on that yellow objective. And the orange objective is open. There's 4 open objectives right now. So, yeah, these Broadsides are still hanging back here, but they're moving up and shooting every turn. This squad's locked in hand-to-hand. This tactical squad got messed up by a D weapon. The super heavies, the Warhounds over there, are still locked up. Terminators hanging out in the rocks. They're going to have to make a run, try and get up on that orange objective there. Those super heavies are still locked up. Another Warhound. Carlos's Warhound came up and locked up the Reaver again. And when they're locked up in hand-to-hand, the Reaver can't fire, which is a good thing, because he has 8 destroyer weapons. And a lot of those tanks over there are still immobilized. So, yeah, the guys are getting pretty thin on models here. So we'll see what's going to happen. We're going into turn 6. Here we go. And that concludes turn 6. This is getting absolutely insane. So these Terminators are trying to run up here and get that yellow objective, and the broadsides are running over here, shooting at him, took a couple out. The speeder came up over here. He's trying to hold that objective. The tank is plowing through the terrain, trying to get up in the objectives over here. The broadsides made a run. They're going for that orange objective over there. These guys shot, took out some Terminators, kind of bummed James out, but oh, you never know what's going to happen in Apoc. Those Warhounds are still locked up. Those Warhounds are still locked up. The Reaver finished off the Warhound. Boom, he's down. You know what that means? There's one more turn, and the Reaver is now online. He's going to get to fire. James's tank over there went full Apoc explosion. Boom. Took out all the models around it. It's getting crazy. These guys are running out of models after 6 turns. Who would have thought? Here comes turn 7. All or nothing. Here we go. Turn 7. And this is epic. Oh my goodness. You wouldn't believe it. So these Terminators, the last turn of the game, these Terminators ran up to get that objective and fell short. The broadsides ran up, so the Tau are holding that objective right there. James blew up the speeder. He's not holding that objective anymore. Nobody is holding that objective over there. That Terminator tried to come up. He fell short. There was an apocalyptic explosion. The Warhound went down. The Reaver came over here. So the Reaver came up to hold that objective, that orange one, but the broadsides are contesting it because they ran and got a good run. So we've got one objective for the Tau right there, that yellow one. The Reaver is holding that yellow one right there. It's 1-1, and the video got cut off. Oh no. Well, anyways, as you can see there, it all came down to the last objective. James needed to hold that one with his Terminator for a tie game. Carlos's commander ran up to take it if he could destroy the Terminator. All the broadsides shot at the Terminator. James had 2 wounds coming. So the tie or the loss all came down to this final throw. James had to make 2 armor saves with that Terminator, and he failed. So the Tau ended up claiming that objective, giving them 2 to the Dark Angels 1. So the Tau ended up taking it for the greater good. Wow, what a close game. Fantastic. See you next time.